The water stage that everyone hates. I think it's fair to say that the water stage has always been the worst in gaming since the dawn of its appearance. No one likes the water stages in Mario, Donkey Kong, Sonic, Kingdom Hearts, and especially no one likes any of the water temples in The Legend of Zelda. So this rule should also apply to Metroid. At first glance, Maridia is definitely the worst experience for playthrough. It contains the ever so annoying bogged down controls that we all hate, that you cannot do anything about it until you get the gravity suit. But looking past all that, Maridia is actually the best area in Super Metroid, and you cannot change my mind. Why? Let's get into it. Maridia is the underwater level of Super Metroid, where you will make little to no progress if you don't have the gravity suit. But once the gravity suit has been obtained, the area opens up like any other areas of the game, with perfect control over Samus. But it's not the control experience that makes Maridia more special than other areas like Norfair and Brinstar. But rather, Maridia is one of the areas that tells the most story through the environment. If you take a step back and analyze Maridia carefully, you'll find that Maridia is filled with many hidden secrets and interesting things for the players to discover, as it essentially has 4 major sectors: the underwater section, the quicksand section, the beach section, and finally, the industrial section. Each of these sections contains their own little secrets, but unlike all the other areas that came before and after, Maridia contains its own mechanics that makes this the most memorable area. Let's start with how you get access into Maridia. There are 2 ways to get into Maridia, but let's not talk about the Virgin entry, but instead, let's talk about the Giga Chad entry, that is to blow up the glass tube sitting somewhere at Brinstar. This is probably the most spectacular way to gain access into any entry in Super Metroid. I mean, going into Torium with the 4 Space Pirate Commander statue is cool and all, but there is little to no interactivity with it. Maridia Glass Tunnel though. Use that power bomb and boom! Watch the glass shatter to open up a whole new area. Figuring it out for the first time should make you feel like a 200 IQ Grandmaster chess player. Once you invoke your inner Bobby Fischer and gain entry into Maridia, you are open to a whole new world, a completely different experience to the rest of Zebes. In the underwater section, you can find many treasures, but the one I would like to put focus on is Totori and Totori Jr., hidden in the chamber to the right where a single space pirate dwells. You'll find a family of turtles who are mostly non-hostile. This unique creature can only be found in this place of Maridia and nowhere else. This tranquil family just minding their own business in a pocket area of Maridia until you happen upon Mother Totori's lair. The Totori Jr. are completely friendly, but if you step on them, you can send them spinning around the room similar to the Koopas from Super Mario. The interesting thing is Mother Totori is hostile to you. She will fly towards you and hurt you if you make contact. But this act of aggression seems to be more of a motherly instinct, where a bear protects her cubs, rather than to prey or hunt Samus like the rest of Zebes faunas. You can step onto Totori's back and she would launch you to the ceiling, giving you access to the energy tank located just at the top of the room. You think that this helpful turtle family is the only helpful critter here in Maridia, but if we look at another section of Maridia, there is this very peculiar looking fellow. This guy's name is Shaq Tool, and his speed is as fast as Shaq Fu's gameplay.
Damn!
Shaq Tool can hurt you, but Shaq Tool's main mission is to just dig through a tunnel for Samus to get access to a springboard upgrade. Pretty nifty little helper if you ask me. But what is interesting about Shaq Tool is that it is one of the very few robots that can be found in Zebes. The other 2 off the top of my memories are the work robots found in the wrecked ship and the Torizo statues, but we know the purpose of the work robots and Torizo. So what is the purpose of the Shaq Tool? Is this thing affiliated with the Chozos, or is it affiliated with the Space Pirates? The metal theme on Shaq Tool doesn't seem that out of place with the rest of Maridia though, as one of the sections in Maridia is an industrial section. Here it tells us a story through the environment and enemy placements alone. There will be a point where you stumble into a room where very strange Metroids are encased in. These Metroids, instead of having the 4 nuclei, they have only 1, and instead of being super sturdy like the regular Metroids, they die in 1 hit with only the beam. These things are called Moktroids. They are failed clones of the regular Metroids, with the industrial-like area, the Shaq Tool, and now the Moktroids. It appears that Maridia is the place where space pirate technology advancements are being made, as we transition from the natural underwater habitat of Maridia to the lab-like area filled with peculiar objects and creatures. And the one to oversee the whole of Maridia is none other than Draygon, one of the 4 space pirate commanders. Draygon of all the space pirate commanders is the one who is the most shrouded in mystery. There is little to no explanation on what he is, where he come from, and why he is with the space pirates. If we look at all the bosses' lairs, they seem to tell a story of some kind. Kraid is the giant beast that completely obliterated a soldier that dared try to challenge him. Phantoon was the ghost that was siphoning the power from the wrecked ship. Ridley is the roadblock between you and the very last Metroid. And Mother Brain? She killed the baby. What is Dragon's story though? Why, Dragon may just be the leading scientist that spearheaded space pirate technology. Along with the aforementioned Moktroid experiments and Shack Tool, his boss room is the only room with interactable obstacles, beam mounted cannons. Unlike the other space pirate commanders, he uses weaponries to fight you, making the battle all the harder if you don't prepare in the beginning, putting a strategic element to the fight. But those same cannons could also be Dragon's downfall, as I'm sure you all know this by now. But if you grappled onto the electric base of the destroyed mounted cannons while Dragon is holding you, this will electrocute Dragon, making the fight from a very hard boss fight to a very easy one, putting more emphasis onto strategy over a war of attrition. Given how largely forgotten Dragon is after Super Metroid, it's strange that the developers put so much effort into Dragon's fight. Personally, I believe the developers wanted to tell a story with Dragon that he is the smartest space pirate commander out of the four. And this could be backed up with the little Easter egg that one of the developers put in, where the little Evas spell out Keiko Love. For those who don't know, a developer programmed one of the Evas that float through the room before the fight actually spells out Keiko Love to his then girlfriend at the time. Unfortunately, the relationship didn't work out, but that's a story for another day. So now that you watched this, do you agree that Maridia is the coolest area thematically for Super Metroid? Every time I replay Super Metroid, I always find something new with Maridia that you don't really get anywhere else on Zebes, so perhaps when I replay Super Metroid again next year, I might have more to add to it. But for now, that's it for this video.